Today, we are going to dive into neural network training on HPTuners, so stick around. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. And as always, I want to thank all the new subscribers out there, all the patrons for their continued support, and everybody who takes time to comment on these videos. If you like this content, if you find this content interesting, make sure click the subscribe button. Throw a thumbs up out there. That helps me out more than you know. And ring the bell so you don't miss out on new videos like this one where we dive into something completely new. And we're going from the very base level of this. We're going to take a look at it, see how easy it is to get into neural networking on some of these new platforms and get into the neural network trainer that HPTuners has put out recently. And I don't know that there's a lot of people out there really utilizing this tool yet. I've not looked at it at all, and so today we are going to be messing with an E99, which is the later generation stuff. This is out of a 2019 Silverado. But this is going to be any of the new stuff that you're seeing rolling out from GM, and a lot of the stuff that Chrysler has put out the last couple years has neural networking. Now, the way they approach neural networking is a little bit different, and to get an idea, neural networking is kind of like closed loop. The next level. Closed loop is where we were taking corrections from a oxygen sensor and using that to correct the fuel delivery to accomplish stoic. And that has evolved over the years, where back in the day, a lot of it was based on narrowbands, which can only really show you if you're running stoic. Then we got into wideband closed loop stuff that allows it to make corrections into power enrichment and things like that. So what has changed? Well, that old setup is pretty straightforward. It's a PID loop style where you have a set point, then you have a feedback, which is going to be your actual AFR, and then it has an output that makes adjustments to the fuel. Neural networking goes kind of another level higher, where we have multiple inputs that can come into this neural layer, and it looks at these different inputs. It's still trying to accomplish a set output, things like that. Well, why do we have to do, theoretically, you shouldn't have to make any changes to the neural networking because it will adapt to any changes of airflow and things like that. But the problem lies in the way that the base network has been trained. And in order to train a neural network, you have to go in, take a set of known data, run it through the networking program, and verify that the output comes out off of known data. Then you can apply that learned network to unknown data, and it should be able to recognize trends, things like that, and make adjustments accordingly. And it just gets more and more advanced as we add variable cams and all these new technologies on top of it that allows these things to look at your cam position, your air, the volume of air, the RPM, the load on the engine, all these different inputs, and then make the adjustments as those things change. Whereas back in the day, we were strictly just looking at the output of the burned fuel and air, and we were making adjustments based off of that. Now this new setup looks at everything that the motor is doing and then tries to accomplish goals based off of that. Well, whenever we make modifications to a vehicle, we are now introducing things outside the range of the base set that was set in there, that was used to train the neural network from the get-go. And so you have to retrain the network in order for it to recognize the equipment that we have attached onto the vehicle. I apologize if you see me slowly shrink down. My office chair no longer likes to stay up, but we're going to dive into this, and we're going to go from the get-go. I'm going to pull this thing up. Let's go over here and open up our screen. HPTuners, we're going to connect to this ECU and download the configuration from it. And it works a little bit different on this new stuff. If we gather the info on here, you're going to see that it'll actually say that it's going to the internet. It's not going to be able to read the configuration on there. It doesn't mean that we could not write to it, because this is an unlocked unit that's been sent into HPTuners and made the changes to it. But what it's going to do is it's going to actually request it from the server, saying, hey, this is a 2019 Silverado, and it'll come up right here and says, hey, your tune file has been supplied because the stock file cannot be read. It's perfectly safe to use. If this module has been previously tuned, you will lose any existing changes because you can't extract those changes out of the tune. This is a qualifier, and you can see I've already got one, but we'll go ahead and save a new one. So let's go 2019 Sil 2, and it's going to go ahead and open it up. And you'll notice we'll go right underneath speed density here. This is all the neural network stuff. This is the different modifiers. And the one to look at specifically is the input layers here. These are the values, the minimum values to basically enable the neural network, saying that we have to be at an RPM above 402. Load has to be a 0.11, whatever value that is. If it's in a percentage, most likely. Intake cam 106 degrees. And then we have a max range up to 6,400, and then 100% load, 101% load technically, and then the intake cam out to about 170 degrees. And these are, as I said, the qualifiers in order to the neural network to operate. And then we have all these different things like weights that are going to adjust how active the different neurons are. And so you have a grid. It looks kind of like a checkerboard, and it's layered deep with all these different neurons in different locations. As the data passes through, each ones are making slight decisions and steering the data towards a final output. I'm not going to get too much more into how neural networking works. I'm by no means an expert. I've played with it in the past, but there is plenty of information out there on YouTube if you want to get more in depth into how neural networking works. But what we want to look at is just the process of actually tuning this neural network, and if we can do it or not, if how easy it is. So we're going to go up under edit where you would normally have the VVE editor. You still have virtual torque, but now we've got the VE neural network trainer. And if we open this up, brings up a new window. This is kind of a process that you've got to go through where we have to create a new file to train it. And it'll say, hey, you're creating a new training file. We're going to come in here. Let me go over to our where we've got it. And I've got this test one because I kind of played around with this and I stopped and I was like, hey, let's just go ahead and do this as a group. Let's take a look at it. Now it's going to say we've got the file, but we need to upload it to Tuner Tools. They give you a nice link here. And I'll open this window up. So you can see this is Tuner Tools. You'll have to log in with your HPTuners credentials. Now, this interface could use a little work. It's a little clunky right now because we know we want to go to the neural network trainer, and then it will show us our cost, which is 25 tokens. Tokens are not the same thing as credits. Don't get freaked out. This is not 25 credits. Tokens are 25 tokens cost you about $50. And we're going to go through the process of buying them because you can't buy them right here. Even though we can see the cost for GM and Chrysler as being 25, if we were to go in here and load up this file, you can see it says, oh, you must purchase tokens, and it's going to say you don't have any tokens, so you can't do this. Now, we come up to our Tuner Tools account. Here is where we can do the token purchase. We know that we need at least 25, so we'll add a 25 pack in there. And so boom, here we go, 25. Okay, now we can see that we've got 25 tokens that are purchased. Now, keep in mind, whenever you spend these tokens, you're licensing this for 30 days. So the $50 gets you 30 days of access to the neural network trainer. So let's try this again. We'll upload our file, TTST2. We'll upload this. And there we go. Now it says it's pending. Now it's done. So we can download this. Downloading this is going to take 25 tokens from your account. Yep. And we've got the results. Let's open them up, see what they look like now. So okay, there it is. Look at that. This is basically a VE table. And this is in percentage from what it looks like. We're up to 100% right there. We're down to about 27%. And then, of course, we've got all the cam angles here, which is going to shift our VE table. So we would need to filter through. Let's go ahead and open up the scanner. Very interesting. Very interesting. So we're going to want to build a table off of this. Build a graph like we always do. We'll come into our charts, our graphs layout here, and we will do it as intake cam 106 for our first one. So let's do a new table on here, and we will do NN 106. And so our parameter is going to be, as usual, we're going to use our AFR error. So we'll come down to EQ error ratio, do that as our primary. We'll bump it up to 10 hits. And then we're going to build our column and row axis like we would anything else. So we'll come in here, our top one's going to be RPM. So we'll copy our RPMs over, columns, RPM, use our default one on there. We'll paste those in, and then we're going to be using load, which is a new parameter. We've had load in the past. We don't ever use load for anything, but we're going to be using load because that's what the table's based off of here. So we'll bring up load, and we should be able to do absolute load. Double check, this is in a percentage as a decimal. Doesn't matter so long as that matches up. And we'll change this back to NN 106. Because we will have to filter now off of our intake cam. So let's do intake cam angle. It's going to be in degrees, and we're going to want this thing to be based off of kind of how this is laid out. It goes 106 to 117, so we're going to say anything below 117 degrees. So we want our cam angle to be less than 117 degrees. And now we have a table that's going to match up to our neural networking error table. Now we're going to have to do this for all of our different degrees on here. You notice our exhaust cam sticks at 0. This is a push rod motor. It's still a single cam. If you had a dual overhead cam like on the Hemis and things like that, you're going to have to do all of these tables separately so you can go out and log as our degrees change. We'll go ahead and connect up here. As our degrees change, we're going to log different data to different tables on here based on our cam position. And in fact, we probably don't have, let's do intake cam angled, and then let's add in our load, absolute load. Now if we connect up, we should get cam angle. Of course, we're at zero load because this is a bench ECU, but it will start to populate data in whenever we log this in. But let's make some changes to it. So before we do that, let's go ahead and say that we've done something. We need to add 10%. So we'll go 1.1, multiply this table up. We're going to do it to all of our tables here. Shift everything up 10% just as a trial. 170, boom. Okay, we'll save our current process and we'll do this as tune 2. Export it. Okay, so we'll open up Tuner Tools. That's a hard thing to say. We'll grab our, where is our Tune 2 HTT? That's interesting. Didn't save it. Export for training. Oh, this is saving it in the wrong spot. Let's go over to the folder. There we go. And then Tune 2. Okay, then we've got Tuner Tools pulled up here. There's our Tune 2. We'll upload that. And we're pending. Give it a couple seconds. It's doing all this work on the own. This isn't somebody having to do anything as far as that goes. It's processing. We'll see what the new process file looks like. Okay, that took about 2 minutes, not long, so we'll go ahead and download this new version here of our results. And we should be able to open it up. Close this. Open up our trained file. And in Tune 2 results, this new file contains calibration values. Would you like to update them now? Press yes to update the tune. And this is the important part. Now we need to save the tune file. You can see where it's made adjustments on all these. So we'll save this as our seal 2 in an update. And let's go ahead and open up a compare file so we can see what all it changed. Here's the one that we edited originally. And here's the tables it's updated. And so this thing works out just like virtual VE, except it has to go through and do some math. It's actually pretty simple. And, you know, a lot of guys that are doing this on the Dodge side of things, they disable neural networking and just go over to a volumetric efficiency table. I don't know that this wouldn't be a better way of doing it, because theoretically, once you update this stuff in neural networking, it should work better. I mean, as far as the closed loop operation should be more effective, should be more efficient, and should be, you know, more adaptive to changes. And then, of course, on the GM side of the platform, we don't have any choice on these later generation stuff other than going to a mass airflow only tune. Which I don't know. I guess you could probably adjust the input layers that we looked at to disable neural networking on there. I'll have to do some more testing. I really need to get my hands on a newer vehicle just to play around with. But they made it easy. Good on them. I've been a little bit hesitant to dig in to see what's going on with this stuff, but now that I've just literally, this is the first time I've walked through it also, it's not that bad. So, be interested to see. I want some feedback from you guys out there that might be doing this, somebody that's trying this out for the first time, if there's somebody out there that's already tuned some vehicles with neural networking, please hit up the comments or shoot me an email. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your stories, your process, how it's worked for you. There's probably more Dodge guys out there doing it because this platform's been around for quite a few years on the Dodge side of things than GM, but nonetheless, be real interested to see how it's working out for everybody. That's going to be it for this video. As always, thank you. Make sure and check out the links, tuning101.com, goatropegarage.com. If you got any questions, check out our website. If you need help, check out our Patreon. You guys know the drill. Thanks for stopping by the garage. And remember, ABT, always be tuning.